Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me here today. So we have a reaction video for you again, of course. I'm kind of trying to not do as many of these because I find myself repeating myself a lot and that's kind of boring for me, for you. However, you guys have been requesting for me to react to this person in particular. I didn't even know she did makeup videos, but yeah, Tana Mongeau. Just before we get into that day, it's been a long time since I've said this, but just for all those people out there who have never seen me before, this here, my eyebrow is a scar. There it is. I don't draw over it, and it doesn't affect my ability to do makeup. Yeah, it's never stopped me from being a makeup artist so far, so... However, my name is Robert and I am a professional makeup artist in real life and here on YouTube. I have 12 years of experience behind me in the makeup industry, and my goal on my channel is to share all my experiences with you guys, give you advice, and to help you become professionals yourself or just people who are really good at makeup. And sometimes that means separating what we see online to what's kind of achievable and realistic in real life. So that is the goal here today. The goal isn't to insult Tana. The goal is to look at her makeup as if I was her makeup artist and how I would change it up so it could benefit her a little bit more. And I know some of you will be saying there's no rules to makeup, and there isn't. However, makeup does have a theory, and these videos are for people who want to learn that. So if you don't want to, then maybe this video isn't for you, and that's okay. I have other videos you can watch. Okay, let's get into it. I'm over here now. Let's do it. Let's watch Tana Mongeau. Okay, I'm just skipping quite a bit because it doesn't look like she starts her makeup until quite a fair bit in.
So first and foremost, I'm going to try out the Urban Decay Quick Fix Hydro Charged Complexion Prep Spray. I already sprayed the Evian water on my face. That's always step one. I like the bottle. It's plastic. It's sturdy. Doesn't seem like it's going to like explode on a plane. Oh shit. They got two lids. Okay, I love when sprays have a fine mist, and this one does. I hate when it's like, oh, come on your face, like big drops. Like, what am I going to do with that? Like, I feel like you have to spread it out, you know? I don't know.
Okay, so I agree with her. Maybe not the way she put it, but it's totally true. Some setting sprays, I know she's not using it as a setting spray now. They come out really, fine mists are really, really nice to use. It's also interesting that she used the Evian water spray before. I quite like using priming products on a wet face. You don't have to. I mean, it's not a rule. It almost helps to make that product a part of your skin. Yeah.
Okay, refreshing, lightweight. To be honest, it feels like a primer on my skin. And it's dope that this says that it hydrates because I do have really dry skin, so I'm hoping that it does do that. It reminds me also of like a sunscreen spray. It kind of smells like a coconutty like sunscreen spray.
I was going to pause it there and just bring something up quickly. I've had so many questions recently. I don't know what's kind of spurred it on, but a lot of people have been asking me if primers are necessary as a step in makeup. And here's the deal. I think yes and no. So I think yes, if you have a certain skin type that interferes with your makeup. So if you're excessively oily or excessively dry or dehydrated, if you're lucky enough to just have normal skin that has no kind of issues and no problems, then primer isn't, you don't have to use a primer. But if you have like quite porous skin or skin texture, I do find primers work really, really well. And primers aren't a new product, you know, they've been around for a very long time. So, I mean, even back way in the day, people used to use like honey to prime their skin. We're talking like ancient Greek time. So it's definitely not a new product or a new idea. So I do like primers for skin types, if that makes sense. So if, for example, if I was looking for a primer, I'll find one that smooths out pores and helps to control oil, that kind of thing. So yeah, I do think primers are good if you're going to use it in a way or get one that's going to help your makeup sit in your skin in the long run, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna take a damp beauty blender and I'm gonna go in with my handy dandy Marc Jacobs Bisque Neutral Foundation. I wear this product and people stop me on the streets and they're like, your face looks so flawless, like what foundation is that? Everyone who tries it loves it. Full coverage, feels like a tinted moisturizer. Like literally everything I feel like anyone could ever want in a foundation is exactly what this product provides. And I normally like to use my Real Technique sponge, not beauty blenders. I'm just too lazy to go downstairs and get a beauty blender, to be honest with you.
I know I said at the beginning I don't want to repeat myself, but beauty blenders, beauty sponges, everything like that, It's great that she's using it damp because it's meant to be used damp. It stops too much product absorbing into the sponge. Of course, some still does. But when it's damp, you get a nice bounce from it. It's meant to give you like this cushiony bounce. Whereas if you're dragging, I mean, even it's still damp, but if you're dragging a damp beauty blender around the face, you're not getting that nice blend that you can benefit from a damp beauty sponge. Am I right in thinking, I should be wearing my glasses, I can't see the screen. Am I right in thinking she used 2 different colours? And she's kind of dragging those around the face. Here's the thing when it comes to mixing different colours of foundations together. Yes, it's fine to put the 2 different colours on your face in a different way if you're then going to grab a brush, for example, and then buff it into the skin like this. If you're going to get a sponge and drag around the face, you're almost dragging 2 different shades of foundation around the face. So, I mean, it can look quite patchy and quite, not so great, basically. So it would be nice to see more of a buffing motion rather than a drag. And because she is using 2 different shades of foundation, it'll be nice to see them blended in even before. If she can blend them in just on the back of her hand or on a palette or something, to get that nice mixture before.
Now I'm just going to use a kind of Tarte Shape Tape because I don't sleep and I'm always sick and I have to get on a plane later, which is going to make me break out more, and then I'm going to be tired from my breakouts, and then I'm going to still be tired the next day and not get any sleep, and then have to get back on a plane and come back to LA and then break out again and then get sicker because I was on the plane and it's holiday season and it's cold outside and people get sick. So then when I get sick, I'm going to get less sleep and then have more dark circles. So yeah. Tana, are you good? I find it very impressive that I'm good at doing.
So, you guys know me and my excessive product. I don't like excessive concealer, everything like that. But listen, she didn't use that much concealer. She used a fair bit, fine. But she didn't do this whole under the whole eyes, building it up and, that nastiness I don't like. And she's going to use a beauty blender to blend it in. I'm okay with that. I think she's done that in a way that's actually better than some gurus that we watched, some beauty gurus that we watched.
Doing my makeup in like a tiny little viewfinder. Good was a stretch. Alright guys, I have my foundation and concealer on, as you can see, looking incredibly pale. I'm gonna bronze it up in like 2.
Okay. This is crazy. So I think her skin looks really nice, and I just loved what she just said. So obviously her body is slightly darker than her face. She has fake tan on it, you can see, because it's like not blended very well around the wrist, but it happens. It gathers here, it gathers in your fingers, all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing. She's gone for a foundation, and this is something I really like to do as well. If somebody is quite tanned on the body but lighter on the face, she's actually gone for a foundation that's actually just her face shade. So she hasn't tried to match anywhere else just yet. And she's going to use a bronzer to then make that blend with the rest of her face. Now, here's the reason I think that's a really, really good idea as opposed to using a darker foundation. Darker foundation on top of a lighter skin looks like darker foundation on light skin. It goes orangey, it goes a strange colour, because you need to kind of get the tone, the undertone balance right, if that makes sense. You need to match the tone of your tan, which can sometimes be yellow, sometimes be red, it can even sometimes be green. So it's difficult to kind of match. Whereas if we're just using your skin tone on your whole face and then bronzing around it, you kind of then don't have to highlight the middle of her face because you have a lighter shade here and you can bronze around the rest of her face. That's personal preference. I quite like to do that. If you're quite good at matching your foundation to your tan, then that's a good, good for you.
So now I'm just going to take a really big fluffy bronzer brush. This one's by Sonia Kashuk, and some Hoola bronzer, and bronze my entire face really quickly. The reason why I'm heavily bronzing my face is because my body has a tan right now, but my face doesn't, so I have to make them match, Okay, so I'm back and I lightly bronze.
One of my biggest pet peeves with bronzer. Let me find a brush. I'm personally quite a big fan of bronzing with a purpose, meaning I like it to sit in places that will enhance the face and the facial structure, rather than getting a big brush like this and just doing this and then seeing people do it down the middle and then going all around their hair. Like, yeah, fine, you get it, it's there. But here's the deal with bronzers and products, but also as well, it just doesn't look like anything's happened, if that makes sense. I think when you bronze the skin, it's a really nice idea to not contour, because it's not contouring, but sculpt the face a little bit more. So to give this more like sun-kissed look, rather than like like everywhere. So I would give a little bit more direction, especially on her face, a bit more around the forehead, again buffed up into the hairline, a little bit more around the jawline, and I would even sculpt her cheeks a little bit more. Even if she is going to contour and use bronzer, I would get that bronzer on the cheeks. With bronzer as well, let's think of it this way. It's meant to be a bronze looking face, or like a tan looking face. You kind of want your whole face to have that look as well. So I always take an eyeshadow brush and I will take bronzer through the eye socket. Even if you're wearing eyeshadow, I'll use it as my transition color first. I even go down like the edges of the nose, not to contour again, just to shade slightly, just so it all kind of blends and gels well with each other, just to have like a circle around the outside of the face. That isn't a nice bronze look to me.
And now I'm gonna grab the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and a smaller contour brush and kind of go over that bronzing and just contour a little bit. You guys know I don't take contouring too seriously. I don't really care about it. I don't really know how to do it incredibly well. People are always so personally offended by the way I do my makeup, and I'm just like, is it your face? Like am I knocking on your door like trying to do a contour to you? No, like I am happy, okay? I've been really focusing on contouring right here lately so I don't look like I have like 82.3 chins, and then like right there, so I can pretend like I have an Alexis Ren jawline even though I totally don't. One thing I really like about having a dark root is that when I'm bronzing my face I don't have to be super careful about getting it in my roots. Alright guys, I finished my contour and now I'm gonna
Okay, so that looks quite smooth. I think she maybe touched it up a little bit when she went, but I actually think I have a brush she was using. She was holding it quite far down here, and I say this all the time in my videos, again, sorry to repeat myself, but if you're holding a brush really far down, you get quite a lot of pressure. You get a really firm pressure. If you hold it quite high up, you get a really light pressure. So ideally, when you're doing a contour, you kind of want to hold it halfway in between, so you get that kind of a little bit more of a flow with a product. If you hold it really far down, and I said this in my James Charles reaction video where he was doing his contour with an angle brush. And way brushes are, if you have a slightly domed brush on top, you can go backwards and forwards really, really nicely with brushes like this, but you have to kind of flick it like this, or use a flat top brush if you want to go backwards and forwards. With an angle or a brush that's like this, they're cut in a way that's meant to go kind of just in one direction. So if we're going up and down like this, hold your brush right here, right at the root, hold it against the skin, and then go backwards and forwards and feel that slight bump when you go backwards and forwards. Go up, bump, down, bump. That bump is adding denser color, and it's going to add a patchiness to your contour or bronzer or whatever it is you're doing. And then you can kind of see dark patch here. There's always seems to be, this area here seems to be like a culprit for that. There's always like a dark patch there on some people. Yeah, so I'd like to, that brush is absolutely fine to use, but use it delicately. Use it like, you know, hold it like a chopstick almost, like this, and go backwards and forwards, get your little finger up in the air, give yourself some delicateness, and just go backwards and forwards lightly, flick, 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 rather than, you know, we're trying to look chiseled, we're not actually trying to chisel at the face.
So I like to do my brows before I do my eyeshadow. I don't know. I don't do anything in a humane order, but... So I'm going to use a mixture of Urban Decay's Faint eyeshadow, a random angled brush, and an Anastasia brow pencil in medium brown. I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, but basically I just comb my brows and then I follow their natural shape by just making little hair-like strokes, and then I kind of lengthen my brow out here, and I make sure this part is super faded because I don't know how to do brows. I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm going to hop into eyeshadow.
Let me just say, that part being super faded is really, really nice. I prefer that to a blocked brow. What I really like about what she said there about using two different products, if you have very fine brows, her brows aren't exactly like not there, but she has very light hair and, you know, light brows. So by using two different products, you actually give the brow more texture and give it more of a realistic look. It's a really nice technique to use a powder, lay that down as like the base shadow of your brow, literally like the shadow that your brow hairs would give. And then, like she said, use a pencil to create brow strokes through the brow. You get definition, you get different multi-tones. Even the darkest eyebrows are not one pitch black color or one flat color. Hair isn't flat, you know, it has different lights and different tones and different, yeah. So, nice.
So I'm going to hop into this Tartelette palette first, and I'm going to grab this shade called Sunrise. I'm using an e.l.f. eyeshadow brush because I have low standards. You guys should tell me in the comments below your favorite Morphe brushes, not Spons. Wish it was Spons because I really want to get some. So I'm going to pop that Sunrise color all over my lid. Ooh, she's pigmented. She's pigmented. Shout out Tarte. I'm just going to use like patting motions to avoid fallout. I don't normally start with the lid shade. I usually start with the transition shade, but I'm trying to care about myself more today.
Should I use an eye primer? Just my opinion. You know how much I love my eye primers. I'm not sure why she's pulling on her eye like that. There's no need for it. She can literally lift her head and look down. Especially after she's done all her skin, her bronzer, she's done a setting powder, so the texture of her foundation, you know, is a little bit tacky at the moment, and she's pulling on her face. She doesn't need to. She has a lot of space. It's actually quite a nice eye shape to do eye makeup on because you have so much room to create a look. And transition shade first is absolutely fine as well. She keeps insulting the way she does makeup, and it's actually a good way to do it. If she insulted the way she does her brows, which I think they look great.
Okay, in this Tarte palette, there is a shade called Simmer in the bottom corner of this one right here. And I'm going to start with that being my transition shade because it's not entirely matte, so that's good. I'm just taking a big fluffy Sigma brush and putting that all throughout my crease. I cannot do crease eyeshadow without pulling my eye tight. I know that that creates premature wrinkles, but thank God I have Botox.
Not even, I mean, maybe it does make wrinkles, but for me, the way she's doing it, she's pulling her eye down like, where's the brush? She's pulling her eye down like this, and then she's getting her brush and going towards her, what's this called? Finger, which means she's actually pulling her eyes down in the corner slightly, and she's actually putting more product here than she should be. She has, look at her open eyes, she has a very defined socket. She can literally grab a brush, a smaller brush would be quite nice, very like defined brush, up and down into a mirror. Just literally, you can literally do this. And then that will stop her bringing this product out here, which she's doing for some reason, which in turn is bringing her eyes down slightly in the outside corner. Especially if she was using a darker color, we would have like a downturned eye.
On blending out the corner. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to just keep dipping into that shade and blending it out. I'm not going to lie, I felt like the Tarte shadows would be a little more pigmented. Not horrible, just thought they'd be a little more pigmented.
Eye base would have given you more pigmentation.
I don't know. And then I'm going to go back in with that same lid shade I just used because I felt like I kind of blended it away, which I hate when eyeshadows do that. Like, how hard is it to stay in place? I don't know.
An eye base? Yeah.
Now I'm just going to grab a super big fluffy blending brush and seamlessly blend those two transition shades together. Wow.
That's a really good tip. I always have my big, this is the Morphe M504. I always leave it clean. I never dip it into a product. Every time I add something and blend it, I then go over with this to blend even more. However, again, she's holding the brush really far down. Get up here, get light and airy and fairy with it. Just keep it right up the top here. Give you a really nice softer blend.
I don't want to do this on camera. I'll be back with lashes and a lot prettier. Hello, I am back and almost ready. My last first impression that I have to do is the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Mascara, which I don't really have immensely high hopes for. Ooh, I actually do really like the wand. I hate like weird ass like plasticky wands. I like fibrous ones, like Benefit Roller Lash wand. Like I have nightmares about that shit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I actually really like this mascara.
So for me, mascaras with false lashes is a big no, but I mean coating the false lash itself in mascara is a big no. The way she's just done it there, and it's a really good way to do it, is with your mascara wand, is to just push it into your real lash, and then you can kind of pinch your real lash and the artificial lash together. False lashes kind of lose their shape and the way they've been designed if you cover them in mascara, because the mascara wand is designed to do something to your lashes, if that makes sense. It's designed to either like keep them together or separate them or do something else. So you're changing the look of a lash that you actually really liked, if that makes sense. So yeah, nice. Okay, well, let's end that there. Okay, so I feel like I said less bad things in that video than I did in most beauty guru videos, maybe because she wasn't trying to sell us a product. I'm not trying to say everyone is trying to sell you shit. So there are a few things I would change as I spoke throughout, but there wasn't so much an excessive use of product, which I think was really nice. She has a very clear idea about her skin undertone and how it works with her fake tan. If she was wearing fake tan, I think she was. The eyes could use a little bit of help in terms of the overall look was actually really nice and really soft. But I think some positioning and reshaping of the way she does her eyes would be really nice. I would bring the outside actually higher up, where she tends to bring the shadow down a little bit when she blends. I would be buffing upwards. She has that incredible space between her eyes and the brow. So I would take advantage of that a little bit more. And it doesn't mean it has to be crazy over the top makeup. You can do a really nice soft look and still lift up that eye a little bit more. That, I think that actually went really, really well. Will I be honest with you and tell you guys, did I expect it to go that well? Absolutely not. I'm not angry. I'm not unimpressed. If she was to be like, this is what I'm doing, are we fine? I'll be like, yeah, fine. You know, like it was very well thought out in terms of color combination, eyes and lips. She didn't use any unnecessary color corrector, unnecessary concealer. Well, I mean, she doesn't really need to conceal under the eyes, but she was doing it to brighten a little bit. If you enjoyed that video, if you learned something, let me know below. Give this video a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like videos like this, or just consider subscribing. You might not like me, and that's okay. You're allowed not to like people. You can go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm figuring out Twitter now. I'm kind of like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I love a good tweet. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye.